y'all doing today? I pray that God is blessing you real good and that his face is shining upon you today. I've had a full day today. I'm so excited about the things that I was able to accomplish. And so that rolls right into the standards that we have. Sometimes, most times, determine the type of days that we have and the type of weeks that we have, and also the type of months that we will have. It even follows into the type of years that we have. You know, we all have different seasons and we all have different times that happen in our life, and we can say, I've had a good day, or I've had a good week, I've had a good month. You know, this has been a real good year. This probably has been the best year ever. We've all said that. Or we can say, I remember, when 2015, that was my best year. And that's okay. That's not bad. That's not anything right or wrong. I'm just saying there are seasons that we have that carries over into our lives. I want you to recognize when you are having your best time, your best day, your best week, your best month, or even your best year. How were your standards? Were your standards based upon good, or were your standards a little bit lowered and you feel that you had your best year or your best month or your best day, best week, whatever? How were your standards at that time? If you can recollect the time that you had your best time, how were your standards? And what standards did you live by? What season were you in? Try to do a litmus test to your season that was the best. Why were you happy? Why were you on your best behavior? Why did you achieve your goals? What do you feel that you did? Assess that. Do an actual self-assessment and see, what were you doing? Who were you with? First, your circle of friends. What were you going for? What did you achieve? And what was the thing that made you so, yeah, this is so good. This was the best time ever. Look into that and see what it is that you can duplicate or upgrade your standards, and see how you can implement that into your life right now. Following up on the last video that we did about standards, we're going to continue that, and I'm going to add a couple more things to that. Why is it good to have standards? One thing is good to have standards is because it aids you and gives you the ability, doesn't tell you or doesn't make you, but it gives you the room or the ability to live to your fullest potential. We all want to live to our fullest potential. I know at least I do. And I assume if you're looking at this video that you do as well. And so since I will assume that you want to live to your fullest potential, I will speak to you from that perspective. Your regular standards that you have, which are usually surrounded by your religious beliefs, how you grew up in your religion, how you function and where you lived, and how your education. Those are usually your base root of standards. Those are my opinions about that. You can come up with your own three, and when you come up with your own three, or even just one, then you make you a video. But right now in my video, those are the things for me that has given me my standards. Those three things: where I grew up, my education, and my religious background. Those three things gave me the fundamental roots of who I am today. And so your roots may be different, and your fundamental standards may be different than mine, but I recognize mine. And so because I recognize mine, I know how to build from it, and I know how to increase my personal standards. So could you do that today? Write down at least three things that are the core of your standards. Once you know the core of your standards, you will know how to raise them. But if you don't know where they are, you won't know how to raise them. So you will need to do that self-evaluation. I say self-assessment, self-evaluation. You're just going to need to check yourself and see where you come from. Not necessarily your culture. Sometimes that can play a part, and maybe that's for you. That wasn't my problem. No, that was not where my standard lied in my culture. But it's those three areas that I share with you. So that's where I come from. I know that I'm adaptable, and I know that I can increase my standard in those areas, because those areas are important to me. May not be important to you, but they're important to me. So I have learned how to adapt in those areas. one thing I'm not going to do in those areas, I am not going to shrink back. I'm not going to back down of who I know that I am in any of those areas. I also will not let life punk me, which means I'm not going to let life go happen. For you, for me, and everybody else in the back of the room, the other people on the other side of this video, the other people in the room next door, the folks up the street, the chick up there, and the dude back there, and grandma, wherever she is, if she's still with us. Life is going to happen. Life has happened to us, and life is going to happen. But I'm not going to allow that life happening determine my standards. My standards will remain the same no matter if life happened or not. Actually, it actually segues into the next part. But I also want to say that my love gets better. My love for people gets better. My love for myself, first of all, gets better. And my love for people becomes better. And if I can love myself more, that means I have the capacity to love other people more and more properly, and not out of codependency nor out of alignment. I can truly, fully love you because I truly, fully love myself first. And that was a time I could not say that. I can honestly say I did not love myself to the capacity of being able to give it at the level that I wanted to. So I had to raise my personal love standard for myself. I'm not talking about going to get my nails done. I can do my nails myself. I can pay for nails, or I can get them done myself. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how I see myself moving about on this earth. How better can I be? Me moving on this earth, how more efficient can I be? How much more can I learn? How much more can I understand? How much more insight can I receive and give to others? The more I receive, the more I have the capacity to give. The second thing is that your decisions in life become easier. When you know your standards, you don't have to flinch about what decisions you're going to make. You already know ahead of time, before the need to make a decision even happens. You can say, bring it. Whatever it is, bring it. Hard trials, bring it. I've been through some things. We've all been through some things. Circumstances, bring it. Good, bring it too. Not so sure, bring it too. Because my standards are going to help me or aid me into making good decisions in the situation. I will do my best to make sure that I take care of myself and I take care of others in that order. That can be difficult for some of us, and some of us are stuck there, and our standards are, if I do for someone else, then hopefully they'll do for me. And when it doesn't work out, we try not to do that. So then our standards are can be out of whack. But if your standard, personal standards, is to make sure that you take care of yourself, love yourself, enjoy yourself, and allow yourself to become teachable. Teaching too, Jesus. Allow yourself to become teachable, then you'll be better off for others. I find that when you are not shaken, people will begin to depend on your lack of being shaken. Now, that can be a catch-22, because the fact of the matter that people know you can't be shaken. They will depend on you to be your standard, and will just live vicariously because your standard is going to stay there. And they can do whatever they want to do, and they know you're going to be right there. They also know that no matter what happened, no matter how bad they are, and no matter how much they do you wrong, no matter how much they lie to you, no matter how much they waste your time, no matter how much you have excuses, you, with your standards, you're going to be right there. That's a good thing, but that also can be a situation that you'll find yourself in. And that is when you establish boundaries based upon your standards. Your standards are your standards, and people can bank on it. But they can also bank on the fact that you're not going to go nowhere, and you're not going to be shaken, and you're not going to move about. You're going to be true to who you are, and that gives them, in their mind, the right to move about as they wish, spend all their money because they know you're going to have some, waste all their time because you're going to always be there. All frivolous with their thinking because you're going to figure it out for them. Don't have to have critical thinking skills because you can critically think. This is why you have standards, and critical thinking comes along with that. So they don't have to, because you got it. But make sure you don't allow people to run over you with the standards that you have. Standards are necessary, but also standards can be a weight, or a weight for you if you allow other people to utilize your standards for their good and not for you. Your standards are not based upon whether you want chocolate ice cream or strawberry ice cream or vanilla ice cream. I'm not talking to the decision making as it relates to that. Maybe you want them all. I don't know. You might want chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry in the same mix. I don't know what that's going to do to your stomach. But you might want it all. I'm talking about your decisions don't waver. You already know your decisions are easy. Not that they don't waver. They're easy to make because your standards don't waver. That's what I want to say. Your standards are solid. And you know exactly who you are. You know exactly where you're going. You are not like without reason. You know exactly your purpose on this earth, and you can move forward with that. And your standards attached to that, you knowing your purpose and your standards attached to that, you are a powerhouse. Come with me. You got this. No matter what, you're adaptable because your standards are solid. I hope that you can find out and come to the conclusion of what your standards are. It's going to give you those two things. It's going to allow you to be able to fulfill your fullest potential. You're going to be able to fulfill your fullest potential. And once you fulfill that, because you're adaptable and your standards are high and your standards are that you have the ability for your standards to go higher and higher. Because the more you learn, the better your standards are. It's when you no longer learn. It's when you're no longer teachable. And it's when no one can help you. Now imagine that. I have information that I want to share, or you have information you want to share that's going to make me a better person. Yet I can't learn because I can't hear you, or you can't hear me. I mean, what is that going to do for me? That's going to make me behind. That is not going to propel me forward. That's going to make me behind. Your standards need to be figured out by you. You need to know what you stand for. I don't mean to be redundant, but if I have to be, I will be. Figure out your reasons for your standards. Some of us are on this earth just alive because we're not unalive. And we have no clue what our standards are. You want to know a good way to know what your standards are? Is to see where you're being challenged. Where you're being challenged and you don't know how to answer it, or you don't know how to move about. Right there, you may be missing a standard. So start there. Don't start heavy. Start right there. Where are you being challenged? If you're being challenged right there, then maybe you haven't recognized your standards. I hope that this video has been a blessing to you on some type of level. It's blessing me. And I appreciate you being here.